Whether you're looking forward to driving the Aptera solar-powered EV as your first electric car, or you've been driving electric for a while like we have, there's some questions that you're going to have to hear from your friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors. It's just the way it is.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We're here to prepare you for that moment.
Consider
when it
this
happens.
practice.
That's right.
We're going to show you and talk about some of the exact things that our family, friends, and coworkers have sent to us.
Yep.
Let's get started. First, this one came from my boss. This is one of my favorites. He said, Chad, I saw an EV at a charger when I was gassing up the other day, and it seemed like it was there forever.
Wait, how long was he at the gas station?
Exactly. So how
like
long?
2 hours?
So if you gassed up for 5 minutes and left, you don't know that they weren't there for 6 minutes. So I kind of rubbed my eyes and said, hey, well, I appreciate you saying that. But there's some truth to some of these things that people are worried about. That one in particular.
Yeah.
There are some EVs like our Nissan Leaf that take a long time to charge, even on a DC fast charger.
Right. The Chevy Bolt, I think, too.
Chevy Bolt,
if you're going to use a DC fast charger, it's not going to be a 6-minute stop.
No. No, you're going to get, exactly. So, but then there are some, like the new Hyundai and Kia cars, the Tesla, of course, and others, and like the Lucid Air, who really pride themselves on charging fast, like 20 to 80% in 15 minutes, somewhere in that range.
Right, just long enough to go up, refresh yourself, get a little snack, and
the other thing they don't consider is the smaller the battery, of course, it might take less time.
Right.
But if you have a big battery and it only takes 18 or 20 minutes, like those cars we mentioned, then you're on the road for another 300 miles.
Right.
So we understand where it's coming from.
Yes, we know it doesn't come from nowhere.
But it doesn't take forever anymore to charge an EV.
Right. And if it's important to you, if you're going to be using this as a long-distance traveler, pay attention to how fast it charges to 80% at a fast charger.
Yeah.
That'll matter to you.
The thing is, none of us are rolling up to the fast chargers at 0.
Right.
Or we wouldn't be rolling anymore.
We would be towed there.
So usually you're already at 30 or 40 miles and you're only charging up to another to 80%, so you're not really going to be there as long as you might think.
Yeah.
So get ready for that question.
Right. Even in our Nissan Leaf, we sometimes stop at a fast charger and we don't charge to 80%. We just charge enough to get us the rest of the way home. So
and we almost
it just
never
depends
use
on what
fast
you
chargers.
need.
We'll
That's
get to that
true.
later.
Right.
We'll get to that later.
Right.
Here's one that comes specifically about the Aptera. What happens if you get in an accident? Well, then you crash your car and maybe get hurt, just like when you get in an accident with whatever car you drive now.
That's true.
None of us want to be in an accident in any EV
vehicle
we're in, including
even a
the
nice
Aptera
vehicle.
solar-powered electric car.
I don't want to get an accident in that.
But some things we might help people understand is that it does have front and passenger airbags.
Right.
In the production model, it'll have that. Also, the crush resistance, because of the way the chassis and body are made, the Bink body and carbon, it has a really high crush resistance, way more than an SUV, by the way. They have almost no crush resistance. So, yes, it would be bad to get in an accident in Aptera, as well as every other car on the planet.
And stay tuned, because Aptera is now in the process of working on getting together their production intent vehicles. And once they have those, they're going to submit them to some pretty thorough crash testing, and we will get some real data that some of our smarter viewers will break down for us.
And they promised on our channel that we would be able to see that crash test data. So we'll go over that with you when that happens.
Yes.
There's another good one. This came from my dad when we first bought our first electric car, the Nissan Leaf. He says, Chad, we can weld an exhaust pipe on the back of that so people don't know you're driving electric and then don't hate you.
How helpful.
I thought,
That was
oh my
so
goodness.
polite.
My first thought was, are people going to hate me because of my choice of
And
transportation?
I was scared a little bit. I'm
Yeah.
like, it never crossed my mind someone was going to hate me for
Yeah.
having an EV. So,
And they don't. No,
it hasn't been our experience.
Guess what? This is a secret. Nobody cares what you drive.
And to clarify, we didn't take him up on that.
Yeah, we
so
don't have an
this data
exhaust.
is not based on the fake exhaust theory.
We have got no hate because of our choice of electric car.
No, that we're aware of.
But that was a good one. Yep. Okay, let's move on to another one. Oh, I love this one. After a couple years ago, there was a big snow event here not far from us in Pennsylvania. People were stuck for a couple of days on the highway, and a lot of people said, and I've heard from my friends, family, coworkers, what happens if there's a big snow event and you're stuck?
In an EV.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's terrible to be stuck in a gas car too, because you're going to run out of gas. And in an EV, you will eventually run out of electric. But we've tested this theory, and in your electric car, you can idle for a very long time. So just like you don't want to be on the highway in the snow with half a tank of fuel, make sure you have a good top up on your EV as well.
If you're expecting to run into dangerous weather.
Yeah. And you can maintain turning your heat on and off for a very long time in EV. It's not worse, it's a little better than most gasoline cars.
And we have been in situations, even here in Michigan, where we've been low on battery and we just have to make it the last stretch and we don't want to stop at a fast charger. So we do put the BMW i3 has like a eco mode where you
Eco
can't
Plus.
use your heater anymore.
Eco Plus,
so
right.
you turn on the heated seats and you rely on the heat that you've already got in your cabin, and there are things you can do with that if you're running low on battery charge. But you can idle for a long time.
Very long time.
Yes.
Here's another good one. This was Aptera specific. This one we heard quite a few times. Aptera, because it's a two-seater, is just a niche vehicle. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But consider this too. How many times when you drive to work and back is your car full of people? So for us, most of the time we drive, it's two people. So for us, it's not a niche vehicle. But if you have a family of 8 and you drive around in one of these massive vans and you're together a lot, well, yeah, it's a niche vehicle. You take it on weekends and have a good time. But even then, if you're going to work and back, do you have all the kids with you on the way to work? I hope not. I hope not. I mean, it's illegal in this country to take your kids to work. But maybe where you live, it's okay. But anyway, think about your driving and ask yourself, how often is there 1 or 2 people in my car? Because we see a lot of trucks, Sarah, in our neighborhood with 1 person in them, and these big old trucks that are not working. They're just driving to the store.
Yeah, I mean, they're working like they're driving, but they're not, working trucks. They're just driving trucks.
So being a two-seater doesn't make a niche for everybody.
Great. And I do want to say this, too, because we do see in Michigan, we see a lot of use at our carpool lots. So now I want you to think about your carpool group. Would you rather get an Aptera and drive by yourself or with one other person of your choosing, or continue to carpool with Ned, who keeps eating Doritos in your back seat and leaving his fingerprints on your car? Do you want to continue that?
Yeah. So anyway, food for thought. That's why she's the brains of this operation. That's why. Oh, here's another one. Here's a good one. This was come from my dad. He says, yeah, EVs are great just to kind of get around town with, but that's it. Okay, there are EVs that's true of, the Smart for 2 electric, the older Nissan Leaf, the iMe from Mitsubishi, maybe great around town and that's it. How often are you not just around town though? I mean, for me and you, we pretty much are in Grand Rapids and the surrounding area all day, every day with our Nissan Leaf.
Yep, it's a perfect use case for our 2016 Nissan Leaf. I would not want to go on a long road trip in our Leaf. It's a slow charge. Yeah. Even at a fast charger, it takes a long time. So you would have to do a lot of planning. I mean, it can be done, but it would not be my choice to take that. But 99% of the time, I'm driving it around town and I love it.
And that's just 1 or 2 examples. What about the Tesla long range Model 3, 300 plus miles, even the Chevy Bolt, which you can get for like 20 grand, is good for 250 miles. So this idea that it's just for around town, that might be a great talking point on news radio maybe. It's just not completely factual. Okay, good enough.
Yeah, there are options out there. And you should consider that and what you would be using your EV for if you're getting one.
Here's another one. This is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones, and I've heard it so many times. Well, what happens if there's a storm and all the power goes out? Well, yeah, you can't charge your car. That's what happens.
Guess what else you can't do?
Can't pump gas. We lived in Mississippi for Hurricane Gustav. 4 days, no power anywhere. Nobody was buying gas, pumping gas. No one was charging their cars. We couldn't even, have our AC running, even though it was like 98 degrees, and the windows were all painted shut because it's Mississippi. Right. So if the power goes out all over the place, you can't charge your car. I think everybody figured that out already.
Right.
You also probably can't gas up your car.
Right.
So
Now,
we're all in the same boat.
right. And if you have something like the Ford F-150 Lightning, you're in a good spot if your power goes out because you
Power
can
your house.
power your house, use
Yeah.
your Lightning
Vehicle
like
to
a
load, vehicle to
generator
grid, yeah.
for your house. So in
so-
some ways, you'd be in better shape if you had
You can't
certain
do that
EVs.
with your ICE car. You
can't
can't
do
use your ICE car to power your house.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
If you can, stop doing that.
I wouldn't know how. Maybe.
Stop that.
If you're doing it, then don't do that.
Sounds dangerous.
Here's another one. This is about Aptera specific. It looks too strange. Yeah, it's strange.
You look too strange.
You look
oh
too-
wait.
no,
Oh no.
but
I
it
meant
is-
you. No.
But it's a strange looking car.
It
Some
is.
of us happen to find it cute. Kind of like if you have an ugly baby and you're like, oh, that's the most
no.
beautiful baby to me. Everybody else like, that thing looks a little strange. That's just the way it is. That's okay. So it's a perspective thing. Some think it's strange. Some think it's weird. We think it's just about perfect. It looks like a fish on wheels, which is great.
Well, the fact is, it was designed not for looks, not for aesthetics. It was designed for efficiency.
Yes.
So it looks like a very efficient vehicle.
It kind of looks the way it has to look,
The
essentially.
wind displacement for the entire vehicle of the Aptera is less than the mirror on a Ford F-150.
That's what I heard.
So that's why it looks like
Yeah.
that. It doesn't look like that because it was designed to be a funny looking vehicle or a weird or futuristic looking. I like the fact that it looks different and I think of it as futuristic, but I am a sci-fi nerd. So that fits in with me
Yeah.
and my interests very well. But the fact is, it wasn't designed to look like that for the sake of looking like that. It looks like that because it's hyper efficient.
It's that appearance of the Aptera is why you can get 100 miles on just an overnight charge, or at a DC fast charger, even if it's only like 40 kilowatts an hour, you can get 400 miles in 1 hour of charging, which means what? You can get 100 miles in 15 minutes. So it's that weird look that gives it all the good stuff that we want and makes it useful to have solar on top.
Yes.
That would not be useful on our Nissan Leaf.
Right,
Because we're pushing too much wind and too much
it
weight.
would negate any power we got from any solar because our vehicle just isn't that efficient.
So these are the questions you're going to get when you start driving an EV.
Yes.
If we missed any in the comments, let us know. What are people telling you or asking you about your EV?
Yeah, and if you have a
Yeah.
better answer for any of the ones that we
the
talked about, please
comments.
comment below so that we can copy you.
I'm going to end with our favorite one of
Yes.
all time.
Best ever.
My dad told me recently, said, you know, Chad, in 5 or 10 years, the EVs will be practical. They're just not there yet. And I looked at him and said, how do you think I got here today? I drove here in my EV. I've been driving for almost 4 years now, all day, every day. It's the only thing we drive, and you're telling me it's not practical because you saw that on the news. Ask somebody who drives one every day. Thank you for the mug club. You mugs my mugs. So these mugs can go to California, which we're going to do very soon.
Yes, thank you. With all the snow here right at this moment in Michigan,
This would
we
be
are
a great guide, yeah.
eager to head out
Yeah, do
to
something, Aptera,
the
to
West
make us want to
Coast.
come there now. That'd be
Please,
great.
yes.
Also, the members of the club, you keep the wheels churning on the Positively Charged EV channel. That is this. As I'm editing this, Tom Bushaw sent us 2 cups of coffee. Tom, thank you so much for the support. You've been such a friend to the channel. We cannot thank you enough.
Yes, thank you, every single member. Your contribution matters so much to us.
And YouTube says I should say subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Like.
And
Can we
share,
say that
share,
too?
share.
Share.
All right, that's it. Chad Sarah, Drive the Lightning. Stay positive. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
stay
can say-
charged. Stay positive. Someone else says stay
positive,
charged.
Where we get a charge out
I'm
of driving.
driving.
Thanks for watching Drive
Yeah.
Lightning, where we get a charge out of driving.
Nailed it.